Hi guys, I hope you can hear me. I'm doing regular videos from my camera versus doing Facebook Lives, and I'm posting these on my YouTube channel. I posted a little quick video yesterday, and I've kind of been crying a little bit since yesterday, and they're good, happy tears. I hope you can see this. So I did this in a video that this picture, I don't know if you can see the butterfly, that I drew this. But as I was telling people about it, it kind of reminded me, I traced this butterfly. I did not freehand draw this a year ago. I colored the inside of it, and it took me a long time to get the letters to be the same size. That in of itself was a really big challenge, to just get the letters all the same size. So this is huge healing for me. I was listening to the book. I was listening to the book. The Body Keeps Score, and it was talking about trauma and how your brain actually changes, like your brain matter actually changes because of the trauma. And I was listening a little bit further today. I literally it's gonna take me forever to listen to this book because it's so triggering for me. It's good for me to hear it so that I can understand, but I need it. But I just have to take it in little bite-sized pieces and just let it marinate a little bit, because this was another thing that I did last year. Create is the word. And then let me just pick this up. I did this this word. I don't know how to get I painted this word create, and I hung it in wooden letters, and painted that, and then figured out how to mount that. And then I did some other words, and you can see on this one how my letter I is really, really big, and then to get it to fit, I made all the letters, smaller. So what do you call that? Spatial. I have spatial issues. I wrote the word experience, and this was my level, is just making words look pretty. And then I still have to do this. I want to paint. We have a chimney that juts out of our kitchen, and it's plastered over. We don't use the chimney anymore, and eventually someday, maybe, hopefully, we are able to take the chimney down floor by floor and then make that usable space in each level of the house. But I learned about rainbow eucalyptus trees in Hawaii, and so I want to paint our chimney like this. And I just think they're really cool. This was a toucan bird that I did, and I looked at a drawing. I mean, I took art in school, so I know some techniques, but I can't get my brain to make the technique happen to look like an adult is doing it. These were some of the drawings that I did last year. And so, the ones that I did yesterday, there's eraser marks on them. And, I drew here's some of the ones that I started out with. This was just the idea, but I couldn't, how this one, how the loop goes in the middle and then the loop goes down. This is how I wanted it to be. But then when I actually went to draw it, where did it go? I drew the the hook going the wrong way, and I couldn't figure out why it looked weird, why the loop was this way and why the anchor was going this way. And so I had to leave this here and draw the anchor going this way to make the infinity symbol look true, so that the line would come through this way. Like I couldn't figure it out in my brain why it wasn't looking the way I wanted it to look. And then finally it clicked. It was a long process for that to click. And then I erased this and it didn't erase very well. But this is another one that I did last year that was getting a lot better. And this, well, no, I did this a few months ago. This one. This is one that I did a few months ago, probably 6 months ago. Not, let's see, September. That's another thing that happens for me is time frame. So maybe it was before Thanksgiving. Only probably around, maybe in October is when I drew this. And then it got from October to yesterday, I drew this one. And then I drew this one. And I have pictures of this one in stages. So this is going to be like the captain's wheel. And the inside of it, instead of having the captain's wheel go all the way through, it's a dream catcher. And then the idea of a feather, this is a rough draft, so I'm going to make all of these better. This is a Mariner compass. I definitely need work on that. And then this is a skeleton key, but it's in the heart, and then it's the word love where the key is. And then it says dare to dream awake. So I'm gonna keep sketching that until I perfect it. But today that's still my joy. I'm just reveling in the fact that my brain is healing, and I've taken a lot of steps to get it to be this way. And I just want to encourage you, if you've experienced trauma in your life, don't give up. Just because your brain is changed from the trauma, you can learn new things. And every time you learn something new, choose it. It's hard, and you might have to choose it every day. Like somebody who's addicted and they go through a recovery process, they're addicted every day. They never lose that addiction. So every single day that they live and they choose life versus the thing that they're addicted to, that's somebody who's experienced trauma. I get to choose joy on purpose, because joy doesn't happen naturally for me. The part of the book that I listened to today said that people with PTSD, which is more than just soldiers, anybody who's experienced trauma, it technically has PTSD, and we've all experienced some type of trauma. Mine was pretty intense, and it was different kinds throughout my whole life, at all the different stages of my life. So in childhood, in adolescence, in my pre-adolescence, adolescence, and then teenage, and then early adulthood, and then from early adulthood to middle adulthood, I've been healing this whole time. So since I was about 30 years old and I'm 46 now, I've been on this healing journey. I've really sought healing my whole entire life, but I can't look back ever. Even when I was a child, I was seeking, I was observing how other people did life, and why I was like on the outside of the circle, and it's like I would see the people on the inside of the circle, and I was trying to do the same things they were doing, and it wasn't looking the same. It didn't feel the same, and I was curious why for them they could do the same actions that I was doing and mine didn't measure up. It didn't produce the same results. And maybe my brain is a little bit scientific, and I thought, if I'm doing the same actions that they're doing, it should produce the same results, because in a scientific way, if you do this, if you use this measurement of this thing and this measurement of this thing and this measurement of this thing, you're baking the cake, or you're doing the thing, or you're making the beaker do the smoke, it's going to give you the same result. And I felt like I was doing the same actions, and therefore I should have a same result. And I was curious as to why I wasn't. And then as I was an adult, I would share things that happened from my life and how I responded to it. And that isn't typically a way that people respond who have been through trauma. And I was curious why I didn't respond in a normal, there is no normal, but in a typical way that a traumatized person would respond. I kept wanting to seek the new thing and the answer and the truth, and to figure it out. And I know that I had that observation or that thing because there was a missing link in people who experience trauma. And I knew how hard it was for me to get from point A to point B, but I had amazing observations in my life that I had the opportunity to witness. And I believe that that's why my healing started from childhood. Even in the midst of different traumas happening, I was healing at the same time as I was going through new trauma experiences. And I got through it. And even as an adult, it just brings me so much joy. And I'm not going to win any awards for my pictures, okay? Like, that is not my point. I don't think that I did stellar work by any means, or that I'm going to win some first place prize for my drawing. But I am only in this life to grow from being able to barely draw a stick person. Like, even if I would draw a stick person, the left side of my stick person wasn't sizably correct to the right side of my stick person through my whole life. And that I could draw this freehand. I didn't use a stencil to draw my circle. That's a freehand circle, and that's a freehand circle, and it's not perfect, okay? I know that. But I'm really excited that I could draw this, and I want to end on a smile, not on tears. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. The sun is shining here in Wisconsin, and that's a pretty amazing thing, because it's cold here, so we're happy to see the sun.